Today is September 8th, 2024, and this is our weekly update on the ongoing war between Israel and the Hamas terrorist organization in the Gaza Strip and Hezbollah, the terrorist organization in southern Lebanon. Shalom, my friends. This is the Kiva Gersh with Israel in 5, where we give you everything Israel in 5 minutes. Please like and subscribe. And if you have any questions or want to keep the conversation going, please do so below in the comments. This past week in Israel was probably the hardest week for Israelis since October 7th. We reported last Saturday night, it was reported that 6 bodies were found. Sunday morning, Israel woke up to the information, the news, that these 6 bodies belonged to 6 hostages that were kept in captivity since October 7th in the Gaza Strip by Hamas terrorists. It was devastating news for the entire country and, of course, especially the families of these 6 hostages. The hostages were buried early last week. I personally attended the funeral of the hostage Hersh, 23 years old, an American Israeli who had attended the Nova festival and was hiding in a bomb shelter along with many others when Hamas terrorists threw grenades into this bomb shelter. 7 of them were caught and thrown back at the terrorists by one individual, Hersh's best friend, Anir. The 8th one, unfortunately, caused Anir to die, many others, most likely blowing off Hersh's arm. Hersh was taken captive on that day and spent 11 months in captivity. His parents traveled the world, literally speaking to world leaders, anyone who would listen, who could help to release their son, as well as all the hostages being kept in Gaza by Hamas terrorists. To be at that funeral was heartbreaking and devastating. And to see his parents speaking over his dead body, his murdered body, after speaking so many times around the world, most recently in America, was absolutely heart-wrenching. And after these funerals, Hamas released videos of each of these 6 hostages speaking and saying their final words to their families, sending messages of love to their families. This is part of the psychological warfare that Hamas uses to terrorize the entire nation. And while these videos were absolutely heartbreaking and devastating to watch, the families agreed to release them in hopes that they would somehow help gain the release of the other hostages, almost 100 of them still being kept in captivity in the Gaza Strip underground. These 6 bodies were found in a tunnel underneath Rafah in the southern part of Gaza that led to a kid's, it was either a bedroom or a children's play space. And this is the demonic nature of these Hamas terrorists who have literally used all kinds of regular public infrastructure to act as a guard over their terrorist infrastructure underneath the ground in the Gaza Strip, schools, kindergartens, hospitals, and mosques. And this is what has made the fight against the Hamas terrorist organization in the Gaza Strip so difficult. This is an intense form of urban warfare that most countries have never known. Israel continues to fight in the Gaza Strip and working towards locating tunnels, destroying tunnels, and of course, locating the whereabouts of hostages being held. To date, it was just reported Israel has killed at least 17,000 terrorists in the Gaza Strip, and the fight continues until Hamas no longer can control the Gaza Strip or cause any harm to Israel and Israelis. The fight in the north continues as well, a fight that has been going on since October 8th, a day into the war against Hamas, when Hezbollah started to send rockets over the border into Israel. And just last night, Hezbollah fired dozens of rockets on the north, specifically the border town, Kiryat Shmona, which has been absolutely devastated by this war. It and other border communities seeing much destruction. Many people still not living there. Many residents still not living there since October 8th, being scattered amongst homes and hotels around the country. And some of these communities unlivable right now, as many of the buildings and homes are destroyed. So this war continues, going on almost a year now. Just yesterday, it was 11 months since the beginning of this war, and a very hard time in Israel as this war is really testing the nerves and the will and the strength of the country. Though I can say, as someone who lives here, that strength is still very strong and that will is still very strong. And specifically the reservists, the soldiers who have gone back into Gaza and up to the north time and time again since the beginning of this war, they are our strength and they are our will, as they refuse to give up and they continue to fight against the terrorists and terrorism and these terrorist organizations that seek to harm and to destroy Israel. But the will is strong, the strength is strong, and we continue to fight against these evil organizations, all being funded, we know, by the Islamic regime of Iran. That's the update here in Israel. We continue to thank you for your blessings and your support, your prayers and your thoughts. And we continue to send our blessings and prayers to the soldiers on the front line, for their health, their safety, and their protection, and our prayers, of course, to the hostages and their families that they should be returned home quickly and safely. All the best and be well.